Welcome back to Hometown TCG, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John.
Dude, what are you doing? We're done with the Blitz deck budget upgrade series.
Dude, we got the recap.
I forgot about the recap! The recap!
Boom!
My name is Josh, and we are here recapping the series. We just finished upgrading all of your guys' Blitz decks for under $25. This has been a fantastic series, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, it's been so much fun to do, and it's been a little bit of a challenge because you have the budget to work around, and we're like strict $25.
Yes, we don't want to go over.
It's kind of rewarding, you know, being able to find something that can work and function and compete well. And we've even seen it, you know. We compared our deck with my
winner.
Yes, my brother actually, who kind of just
slapped a prison build together and beat everyone up.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about kind of what decks we think in our upgrade series are the most powerful, what are maybe the least powerful, and then what benefit from different levels of upgrades. We've got a lot of questions in our community about maybe the smaller $50 to $75 upgrades, and we've even got some whales asking about the Corvette upgrades, the limitless budget. So we want to talk about that. But let's get started with the power levels of our decks. And I think we're in agreement at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's Prism.
It's got to be Prism. That deck,
good.
That deck just bonks people on the head so hard. And with the pummels, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, she's got some stuff to get around the 6 attack defense cards, too.
Yes.
With the
Herald of
Triumphs. And what's really cool is in Blitz, that the Dreamweavers just have so much value because you only need really one big dominate attack to finish it off.
If you Phantasmify a dominate attack breaking Dreamweavers, you're guaranteed to push a lot of damage through here. So it can feel really impactful. So I think we agree Prism's at the top of that list. Second is Bolton for sure, right?
Yeah, I think continuing with the Light Hero theme, he can just put together combos pretty effortlessly. With his specializations.
Some of those combos can get epic.
Via the Vanguard is just so easy to do anything with. So that's an obvious one.
Lumina Ascension into both axes just feels gigantic. Anything charge into Lumina Ascension into both axes.
Into both axes,
just filling the soul, right? Oh, it feels so good. I think Bolton is in a good spot in this list. Probably loses to Prism because of the lack of 6s in that build.
Yeah, but if you could get off a big combo early, you can race her.
You can race her. You can put enough pressure on her to race. And I think we're kind of at the bottom of the list sit our shadow heroes. We're kind of in agreement on this. Levia and Chain, both, they need a little bit more, right?
Right. So I think the way we're talking about it is the blood debt mechanic that works against you. In order to overcome it, you have to have a certain amount of power.
Yes.
And the more you could kind of put into it, the powerful cards let you overcome that weakness. So that's why I think they just need a little more moolah.
They need a little more moolah. It seems like the light heroes can inexpensively draw power from the soul, while the dark heroes need to penny up here to pull power out of that blood debt. And I think this kind of takes us into the thought of, okay, if these are a little underpowered, right? Maybe these are your favorite heroes. We also think that the one at the bottom of that list that we think is Chain will benefit the most from spending more on the deck.
Yeah, he's got some amazing things. So first of all, Art of War.
Oh,
that just completely changes it. It's such value.
I played it without Art of War. It still felt good.
It was still pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have power, but then when you add it in Art of War,
it's amazing. You're 100% correct. It's incredible. Shadow of Ursa, as well as Shadow Puppetry, I think we're in agreement. If you have copies of them, they need to be slotted into that deck.
Right, and then going further than that, you have Carrion Husk. So Carrion Husk, we talk about that changing momentum of the game moment with Levia, but with Chain, it's just like you're kind of setting up with your Soul Shackles, and then once you block with that Carrion Husk, it's over.
You're turning the script. You're flipping the script. You're turning the tide. I was going to say it backwards, but you're attacking 4 times a turn. You're overwhelming your opponent with mixed damage. I think Chain benefits obviously the most from the high budget of the Corvette upgrade, but sadly enough, I think the second person to benefit from upgrades is probably the best deck in the pool, and that's Prism.
So Prism, what's cool about her is if you just add in the Luminaris, it just takes that power to the next level.
Take your build. Take your copy of Luminaris. Slot it in. Play the same deck. and don't block. It's incredible.
So you got just the Luminaris. You can attack multiple times because we're playing that aggro Herald build. What will be cool about that is when Unlimited comes out, you'll probably be able to get it for cheaper. Currently, it's about $40.
It'll probably drop down to half that, if not less.
I really think so. So you could build a good version of it. Maybe just switch in a couple yellows and run the same thing with your aggro stuff. And that's powerful.
I agree.
Obviously, adding legendary Phantasmal Footsteps helps.
Yes.
And just some more of her Majestics and things like that. You can do some interesting things with her build.
Herald of Erudition becomes very good with the Luminaris build, with the Go Again and the possibility of drawing cards.
Yes, and sneak peek to some interesting combos we'll be talking about in our next videos.
Oh, I almost gave it away. You're right. Finally, the last two on the I guess the upgrade and maybe the unlimited upgrade list would be Levia and Bolton. And I think Levia needs Doomsday, it feels like.
Yeah, Doomsday is just so good.
Doomsday is very good.
It allows you to... It actually allows you to block and still keep up with your blood debt, because it's one card for 6 damage, and you can banish that card, which, yeah, it mitigates your blood debt anytime you need a block. But then also Carrion Husk kind of gets you over that weakness too, because it makes it so you don't have to block.
Exactly. So Carrion Husk and Doomsday slotted in that deck take its power level much higher.
Right. Plus, you could go for an alternate build with it.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Yeah, you could go the Claws build that's kind of leaking around the internet right now.
So if you go Claws there and you have just similar to a Rhinar deck and kind of setting it up with Blood Rush Bellow, going something crazy, and the difference is you have that 6 damage block, so you can just take something on the chin and just finish them off.
There you go. So same as the Reinhardt concept, except you don't have to take the big damage beforehand to get it off. I like it. And then finally, Bolton just feels... he can obviously get better. You can slot things in to make the deck better, but he feels really powerful and really stable.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good as is. Similar to Levia, I think you can change up your builds with him, right? Just because of the weapons.
Absolutely. You could run the Redain and run the zero-cost... low-cost Bolton charge build, right? Where you charge into Redain, maybe with a Go Again, Lumina Ascension, something like that, or Redain and Bolting Blade, or something like that. It's a very, very powerful deck, and it takes very little resource to pull off.
You have that. You could also do your Centauri Sabers, obviously, which maybe another sneak peek.
No spoiling the combos.
Yeah, man. So he has some options there, and obviously some more powerful attacks with his Majestics, Beacon of Victory, Bolting Blade, and stuff.
And we're kind of on the fence on Spill Blood, aren't we? In that deck, it's obviously good. It just doesn't seem you can't pull it off with your other big stuff you're trying to do.
It's just hard. It takes a lot of resources to be able to do that and do a Lumina Ascension and everything. It's kind of like you need everything to work together.
You do. So it's situational, but if you pull it off, it's going to feel impactful. Just as a final recap, guys, we appreciate every single one of you that clicked that sub button during this series. Our community's been on fire, to say the least.
Yeah, people have been excited. It just feels so good to get that feedback. And it feels like we're doing something that people want.
It does, and it feels good to know that their decks are getting better. It gets me up in the morning. It helps me do this.
You know what's kind of cool is that you can, if you wanted just to introduce this game to people, buy the Blitz decks, make all these upgrades for them too.
Probably $150 out the door.
Yeah, and have 4 workable decks that are strong and everyone can play.
And everyone can have a good time, right? All the decks are fun to play. All the decks feel rewarding. I think this is great that LSS has got something out like this where you can build a deck, kind of get this shell, really get a deck going. It helps the kitchen table, and it's going to help you in that armory.
Exactly. So, man, this was fun. We got some big stuff coming up soon, so be on the lookout. But until then, my name is John.
And I'm Josh.
We'll see you next time.